the fever now.
Hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Yours, here right now, the kind of night we dream about. Oh, 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 it's beautiful. Yeah, time flies when you get it right, so hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Stop, take a breath, close your eyes, remember this. Oh, 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 it's beautiful. Love like we never grew up and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. So hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up and live like you just get one tonight.
Hello.
We're kings and queens.
Hey.
One blink and it's over. Wake up.
Hey, everybody. Oop, let me get this off. There we go. Hey, everybody. It's Carl from Carl's Opinion, and we are live here tonight. And if anybody wishes to call in, there is the call-in number 775-273-8970. And again, that's a live call-in number. If you want to appear by vMix video call, you can send me an email to CA2Jogger. Jogger is my last name. You'll have to kind of write that down. The spelling is always tough. You know, with email, you got to be exact on the spelling. CA2Jogger@gmail.com. I'll then shoot you a link, and just type in your username, and you'll see a little box. Type in your username right there, and hit join call. Little box will show up. Then the next box you'll see will be me, and then I'll put you on air, and you feel free to talk about it, ask any questions you want. So again, this is Carl from Carl's Opinion. Happy Tuesday. A lot of news to get to tonight, so let's kind of get started here. And let's see what we got going on right now. Let's see. All right, I'm going to cut this over here. And let's go ahead and get me in here as well. There we go. All right, so let's bring this down a little bit so you can see the title and not just see the call-in number. Trump dispels wall fight as being about keeping a campaign promise. Again, this is a lot more than just a campaign promise for Donald Trump. And let me just check something real quick here, guys, if you don't mind. Hold on. All right, sorry. I just need to just check on something with the audio, if you don't mind. Appreciate that. So a little time out there for me. You got to see the actual how things are made around here. But anyway, here's a good article from the Washington Times. I like the Washington Times. They keep it real. And Trump dispels wall fight as being about keeping a campaign promise. We need this for our country. Democrats been saying that, let me tighten this up. Democrats have been saying that basically, Trump, being holding fast on this wall thing, which is a campaign promise. But, I know Democrats aren't used to making promises and keeping them and then having voters rely on said promises thinking they're actually going to keep them. But it's nice when we have a politician who makes promises. We rely on those promises in making our decision to vote for somebody. President Obama disappointed a lot of his supporters. One of his big promises was that he was going to close Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay, where we were housing, locking up, if you will, a number of terrorists from Afghanistan and from the Middle East. And he promised he'd have that closed in his first year. I think he might have said his first 100 days. I can't remember exactly. That's 10 years ago. Sorry about that. But I remember he said it was definitely going to be within his first year. And he disappointed a lot of his supporters. Because when he got into office, he goes, well, things have changed, and, I see things, a little bit differently, and there's new facts on the ground, and, we can't do that. And so a lot of supporters, I mean, he got reelected, don't get me wrong. He got reelected for the second term. I was one of the guys who voted for him. I didn't really give a damn about Gitmo getting closed. I actually hoped that was a campaign promise he broke, to be honest with you. But a lot of his voters, relied on that statement, a lot of other statements for voting for the guy. And, he didn't keep that. That was a big promise. And when a politician makes a promise and you're going to vote for him based on that promise, you want to know he's going to keep it. Trump promised, one of the things he promised for us conservatives was that he would appoint conservative judges. And because we were all a little skittish of Donald Trump, we all thought, we weren't sure this guy was a real conservative. Well, we knew he wasn't. Let's put it that way. We knew he wasn't a real conservative. We knew he had been a liberal Democrat, pretty much a 90s liberal Democrat his whole life. He was always pro-choice until very recently, pro-abortion, and that was a concern of ours. He just seemed kind of like a liberal on a lot of different issues, and he always spoke out about being a liberal. So we were worried about that with him, but one of the promises he made to the conservatives, he went to the Federalist Society, said, "Okay, give me a list of judges that you approve of," and they did. He goes, "Okay," and he told everybody before he got elected, before the election, he says, "These are the judges I am going to choose from when I appoint judges to the Supreme Court and other positions, whether it be U.S. District Court judges or Circuit Court of Appeals judges." And he kept that promise. He sure did. I think he added Brett Kavanaugh to the list after the fact. Uh, as conservatives, we're not jumping up and down about the guy, but we get it. And let's be honest, that was probably a backroom deal he had with Justice Kennedy. Justice Kennedy said, "Okay, I will retire. I will give you my seat to appoint somebody, but this is who I want you to appoint. I want you to appoint my former law clerk, Brett Kavanaugh." Um, Ben Shapiro talked about Kavanaugh a little bit. I'm not a big Ben Shapiro fan. I think he's a never Trumper, but he did talk about him as far as his conservativeness, if that's a word. And he wasn't jumping up and down either. But when all said and done, not a bad pick. So he kept his promise on that. He said he was going to roll back regulations to make it easier to start businesses for homeowners and such as that. And he did just that. A lot of people think regulations are just for businesses. Well, I got to find out the hard way about a regulation I didn't even know came into existence. It came into existence in the summer of 2016. It was put in by the Obama administration, I believe, under the I want to say Environmental Protection Agency. And what it was, I guess, for climate change reasons, we're all supposed to do our part. And President Obama's position was that our part was instead of spending between $2,000 and $2,500 to replace an air conditioning unit, and now it's going to cost you between $8,500 and $9,000. I will explain. Before, when your AC unit went out, generally it was the outside unit only. The inside unit generally never went out. That wasn't a big deal. I live in southern Nevada. It gets hot. People who live in Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It gets hot. It's over 100 degrees in the summer every day. Over 105 generally every day, over 110 every other week. Without AC, you can't survive. I mean, you run the AC all night long. That's just the way it is. You can't sleep. There's no way you wouldn't be able to sleep. So they go out, the outdoor units, and before you could just swap out the old unit for a new one, and it was anywhere between $2,000 and $2,500. We had a problem with our AC. This is, I believe, I want to say in 2017, and called up the AC guy that I've used for years on different properties and such. And sure enough, he comes out, and I said, "Oh, it was about $2,000, $2,500, because you can always find, if you really, 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 really have to, $2,000, $2,500. I don't care if you have to even borrow it. I mean, you can, you can scrape it together, but you don't have to borrow from several different people. You'll be able to get it." But he comes out and says, "Oh, no." He goes, "The new regulation went into effect in July of 2016. It's a new unit, and it creates a higher amount of pressure. It's to save the environment." Again, that's the middle class doing their part to save the world. Thank you very much. And when you replace the unit outside, it creates too much pressure on the inside unit, so you have to replace the inside unit also. So now you got not just the outside unit, but the inside unit, and now that's about $8,900. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't just have like $9,000 laying around. It's not like, oh, $9,000. Okay, sure, why not? And unfortunately, when your AC goes out, it's not the kind of thing you can get by with. You can't say, "Well, I'm going to go get me a block of ice and stick it in front and put a fan, put it in front of a fan and blow through the room." It doesn't work that way. Now when it's literally 103 degrees at night, at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that was kind of tough. Luckily, it was just this one part that went out, and we were able to purchase that, and it was like $200. But it was kind of a wake-up call, and I figure right now there's like a black market for the old AC units. Like you walk up to some guy, standing on a street corner near an AC air conditioning repair shop, and he's like standing out there, and you walk up and you go, "Hey man, you holding?" And maybe I can get like one of them old ACs, you know. And he goes, yeah, well, like, are you the man? You know, like, you have to answer, otherwise it's entrapment. You know, you go through that whole thing. You take honest people, turn them into criminals. You know, trying to save $6,500. You know, so no, but seriously, I mean, Trump promised he'd roll back regulation. He's done that. He said he'd roll back. I think I want to say he said for every one regulation he would roll back. I don't know, 2, 5, whatever. I think the number is like now like 22 to 1. For every one new regulation, he's rolling back 22, 21, 22. And businesses are responding. Money's coming in from overseas, both foreign money and American money that was sent overseas, to make money overseas, and they don't want to bring it back in because they want to pay the high taxes, which, of course, as you know, he dropped the tax rate. We were the highest tax rate in the world, and Europe was down around, I think, 17, I think it's still about 17% for a corporate tax rate. So our businesses, paying, 30-something% tax rate couldn't compete. Because why would you set up a business here, pay that extra tax? You got to pass on to your consumers, and that increases the price of your goods. If the Europeans sell something a lot cheaper, people are going to buy the cheaper good, especially the quality is roughly the same. So by dropping it down to, what did you drop it down to? Christ, I want to say 20%. I know I'm wrong. That's a wrong number. I don't know. Maybe it's 21%, somewhere around there. But he dropped it down, so it's not as low as the Europeans, but at least now it's competitive. And that's the important thing. So at least he's got it where it's competitive, and that was another promise he kept. And he wanted to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. He was one vote short. John McCain, honorary, just ticked off with Trump. Mainly ticked off with Trump because the only thing John McCain really had going for him, because remember he was part of that whole Keating Five savings and loan scandal, and he skated by the hair on his chinny chin chin on that one. Some people went to prison for that. He didn't. He skated. I'm sure there were some backroom deals done on that. I'm sure there were some friends and all kinds of things. And plus, he was like a war hero. But Trump took away the only thing he had, the fact that he was a war hero. And his claim to fame that he was a war hero was that he was shot down. And also that, he had a chance to go home, I believe in 1968, as part of an early release. He said, no, I'm staying until everybody goes home. Well, he knew he had to do that. If he left early, it would have been over. Not to mention there's rumors that he actually cooperated with his captors as far as reading out radio announcements, saying America's bad, he's bad, we're bad people. Now, I'll be honest, I don't blame the guy for that. I mean, you hear the stories of how they tortured people over there. Hey, man, you know what? I don't know if I could, hold up under that kind of pressure. You know what I mean? They used to string you up from behind your arms and beat you senselessly. Guys actually died over there from being tortured to death. I'm not sure if I could stand up to that. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But again, Trump took the one thing away from him that he had, being a war hero. When he said, well, he's only, I don't think he's a war hero because he got shot down. I like troops who, pilots who don't get shot down. And John McCain never forgave him for that. So McCain, who for years was talking about repealing Obamacare, gets the chance to do it. He is the swing vote, and Graham is going insane. McConnell's going insane. He can't believe what he's doing. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? And he goes, and he put his thumb down. He's just angry. Then, of course, he, took a shot at Trump from the grave. And, of course, his daughter took a shot at Trump, at the funeral. Not a pretty picture, at all. But, you see this headline, and you scroll down here on the article. Let me get rid of this call-in number here so you can see the actual article here. And why don't I just get myself out of here also so you can see the article a little bit better. There we go. Now you don't have to see me. You get to see the article. And just bring it up here for you. President Trump told supporters Tuesday that he's fighting for a better wall. Fighting for a border wall. Now I know why Tim Cast. A lot of times when Tim Cast is reading from these articles, like he'll miss a word. Now I know why, because no matter how much you expand this on your computer, and I even tried it with a HD TV I had, put it up there on there, and I still couldn't make it out. But nonetheless, here it is. President Trump told supporters Tuesday that he's fighting for a border wall because it's needed, not because he made a campaign promise to build it. It's nothing to do with the campaign promise, Trump said in a conference call, according to the Associated Press. It has to do with the fact that we need this for our country. He's right. Look, I'm all in favor of legal immigration. I'm all in favor of people coming over here, learning our laws, learning our customs, assimilating into our society, getting jobs, being vetted. I mean, the whole 10 yards. Right now, we allow a million in. Hey, if we take a look at this and we say it's 2 million, fine. I don't care. In fact, you know what? Let's just double it now. We say we're letting in a million a year. Double it. Make it 2 million. But say nobody else. That's it. 2 million, nobody else. I think that's a fair compromise. I don't see how it isn't. It's going to cost some money because you're going to have to hire more people to process the applications, more federal judges to handle asylum claims, and also for when you go through immigration status, it's a real pain in the butt. I don't even do it myself, immigration law, because it is such a pain in the butt, and the laws change. It's something you really get caught up in. So with that said, I think there's I tell you what, give him the wall, give us the wall, if you will, and we give you an extra million a year. There you go. But they have to go through the legal process, just like everybody else does. Let me tell you something. When they go through this legal process, they know they know the history of this country, they know the laws of this country, they know the politics of this country. They speak English really well. They know it better than the average high school graduate from public high school. Straight up. I mean, they know about things like, Ocasio Cortez didn't even know how many houses of Congress there were, how many branches of government there are. She didn't even know that. This woman graduated from Boston College with a degree in economics and I think also international relations. But when they get done going through this whole citizenship process, I mean, they know all this stuff, and so they have a lot of respect for it. You talk to people who've been through the citizenship process. I have. I know a lot of people who have been through it, and they feel this huge pride in the United States, which is That's good. Good thing. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So, if I want to make it 2 million, fine. Give them a wall. Give them 25 billion for the wall. Get the wall done. Keep all the illegal people out. And 2 million a year. Boom, done. Have a nice day. As far as what to do with the people who are here already, the DACA kids, the Dreamers, there's supposedly 22 million. I think it was Princeton that kind of looked at that. Everybody's been saying it's 11, but it's been 11 for 15. I've heard that number for 15 years. So obviously not 11. It's obviously more than 11. So Princeton did I'm pretty sure it was Princeton. They did some research, and then they came up. They figured it was about 22 million. So yeah, that's quite a bit more. But let's see what else is going on in the news over here. Let's see. Let's get to this one. Boom. All right, and boom. All right, drones became the latest tool drug cartels use to smuggle drugs into the United States. Well, yeah. I mean, we all kind of saw that coming. Let's see, there's a nice little picture of a drone here. Let's see if I can get this stupid thing down. There we go. Oh, there it is. Nice little picture of a drone. I guess that crashed. Had looked like a couple of kilos of coke or whatever kind of drugs on it. So yeah, that's nice. So yay, drugs. But what are you gonna do? But yeah. I mean, I guess this story comes out because they're going to say, well, we build a wall that's going to fly over it. Well, yeah, okay, some people will fly over it. I mean, I got it. I got birds in my backyard right now that, trust me, I don't want there. But they're migratory. They're funny. They're migratory birds, and they're flying between probably Canada and Mexico. They're going back and they go every year. They go back and forth. Although I've never seen these particular birds before, and they got these red stomachs on them. But they kind of act like blackbirds. They're kind of real aggressive, and they just kind of, hover in packs, and they're driving the other birds away and stuff. So I mean, yeah, they fly. They fly through the neighborhood. They fly over the wall I have around my property. Doesn't mean you get rid of the wall. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to keeps out other animals. Like coyotes and stuff. Let's see what else this story has to say. Let's see. We'll read it here. I can get this stupid thing to scroll down. There we go. Okay. Border Patrol busted a 25-year-old man drug smuggling charges earlier this month after agents accused him of picking up a load of methamphetamine. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't coke. Methamphetamine that smugglers flew over the border with a drone. Agents said they saw the unarmed, they must have been cracking up, unarmed aerial vehicle near San Diego and tracked it to its landing spot about 2,000 yards into the U.S., where Jorge Edwin Rivera, an American citizen, was waiting. They nabbed him, and more than 13 pounds. That's let me tell you, 13 pounds of meth. I practice law, criminal defense in Nevada. Meth, 13 pounds. That is a lot of meth. That is not a little bit of meth. That's a lot of meth. It's not 13 pounds of marijuana. It's not even 13 pounds of cocaine. That is a lot of methamphetamine, which they estimated to be worth $46,000. Was it 40? Yeah, $46,000 on the streets. They also got the drone, giving them an important. I don't know what that. I don't know. Trifecta. I don't know what the hell that is. Let's see. So we got all three at once. So the drone, the receiver, and the narcotics. Well, yeah, but good for them. So let's see. So what? But yeah, I mean that southern border. I mean, there's so many drugs. All those statistics. Everybody was saying it was funny. Everybody was saying like on CNN, MSNBC. Before Trump gave that address from the Oval Office. Oh, the fact checkers will be out in force tonight. Oh, it's gonna be a busy night for the fact checkers. Trump's gonna say all this crazy stuff. Crazy Donald Trump's gonna say all this crazy stuff. Oh no, what's he gonna say? Let's see. Pull this up just a little bit. All right. Yep. Let's try that again. All right. Boom. Anyway, there I am. Hey, up. There we go. I sit in the center of the camera, then you'll be able to see me. You say, well, that's okay. We don't need to see you. In fact, let me fix this camera. There you go. Hey, there I am. Hey, everybody. Carl from Carl's Opinion. Anyway, so drones become latest tool of drug cartels. So, yeah, and it's on way. So everybody's on saying on MSNBC and CNN. Hold on a sec. Everybody was saying on CNN, MSNBC the night of his address, oh, here come the fact checkers. Yeah, we're going to nail him. Yeah, he's going to tell these lies. They're all waiting. Well, guess what? Didn't happen. And did they ever come back and say, oh, here's our fact checkers? No. They would say, oh, here's where he was wrong. Oh, I guess did they come back and say, oh, I guess our fact checkers aren't going to be busy tonight because everything he said was true? No, instead they just decided to rail against him they just deflected, shifted the issue, got away from the stats you brought up about the numbers of criminals being arrested, about the amount of drugs being interdicted. That's just the drugs interdicted he brought up, by the way. There's way more gets through than gets interdicted. It's not the other way around. So the drugs coming across, the human smugglers, he said 1 out of every 3 women get raped at the border. Huffington Post a few years ago did a report talking about 80% of, I think it was Honduran female migrants get raped. 80%. Female moms routinely give their daughters the morning after pill because they assume they're going to get raped. There's something called, I can't remember the phrase. It was a terrible phrase. It was like rape trees or something like that. And they call them that because that's where the coyotes will rape the women and throw, as they're ripping their clothes off, they're being tossed into the tree, or they'll put them in the tree as a trophy. Some really gross stuff. There's really some sick stuff going down over the border. And then if you're coming across, remember, the cartels run that whole border area. Different cartels, but they still run it. So if a coyote's taking somebody across, he's giving a cut to the cartels. Cartels are telling him what to do, which includes, oh, by the way, those 10 people over there, we want you to have them carry drugs across. And guess what? The cartel shows up, says, you 10 carry these drugs. You say no, they chop your legs off with a chainsaw. Just like in the movies. That stuff is real. They kill you. And then I guarantee the first person they do that to, I guarantee you the 9 are carrying those drugs across the border. Well, first of all, I don't think anybody's going to say no unless you're a complete idiot. So, and that's how it works. So it's not just people coming across, not just people being abused, but it's drugs coming across, that kind of thing. Anyway, you're going to hold on here real quick. So let's see. I'm going to play some music for you. Let's see if that's working. No, it doesn't seem to be working. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, there it goes. Tell you what, why don't I turn the music up?
The kind of night we dream about.
Okay, I'm gonna take a break for a second, and I'll be right back.
It's beautiful. Yeah, time flies when you get it right. So hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Stop, take a breath, close your eyes, remember this. Oh, 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 it's beautiful. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens.
Hey, everybody. Anyway, I'm back. So sorry about that. Had to take a quick break there. Had an urgent phone call he needed to take. So let's see to make sure we got all the audio back on here. Let's see. Let me see. We're good here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. There we go. All right. Well, let's get to the rest of the news, and let's put on the screen here the live call-in number. Let's see if we got anybody in the chat room. Hey, James Harvey, how you doing? Good seeing you. And see you there in the chat room. Sorry about that. I had to take a break for a few minutes. Didn't see you come into the chat, and had to take a phone call there real quick. So let's see. Let's get to the rest of the news today. And what do we got going on here? I saw the Washington Times again. I like that newspaper. I recommend it to anybody. So, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for cutting me some slack on that one. But in the rest of the news today, I saw Ms. Kirsten Gillibrand from New York is actually forming an exploratory committee to see about running. Exploratory committee just basically means I just want some free publicity in the meantime until I actually tell you I'm going to run. So this is like I'm forming an exploratory committee because once you actually announce you run, all kinds of federal rules and regulations kick in. Also, certain things you can and cannot do. If I believe like if you're like on air, the network has to give equal time to whoever your opponents are, that kind of stuff. So just one, it's a way to get free publicity. Because you announce the exploratory committee, then of course there'll be an announcement later. Like we're still looking at the exploratory committee, and there's a lot of buzz supposedly, and then finally you announce it's like a big deal. Kind of stupid, but it works. It's effective. So there you go. As far as Gillibrand having a chance at the Democratic nomination, not a chance in hell. Not going to happen. I'm sorry, just not going to happen. The Democratic Party is all about identity politics. And she is the wrong identity. Yes, she's a woman, but they just did that. They just did the white woman thing. That was Hillary Clinton. And if you think everybody else is going to be fine with that, say, oh no, it's no, we can do the white woman again. That's the Democrats. And Republicans were like, hey, just give us the best candidate. We don't care who you are, what you're about. Give us the best candidate. We'll vote for you. You win. We're happy. But no, they have to do this like identity thing. So I'm looking at Kamala Harris as someone I think that's my pick. I think she's going to take the Democratic nomination. I think she blows everybody else away. I think she As far as Beto O'Rourke, being the next Obama, Obama seems to like him for some reason. I mean, he's like a pretend, Hispanic. Well, you got Julian Castro running. He's a real Hispanic. I mean, real Hispanic. And so that he'll end him pretty quick, and then Harris can say, "Well, I'm a real black woman, and I'm a real Indian, and you're like a real white guy with a name like Beto." So it might play well against Cruz, but it's not going to play well in the national campaign. In the primary, this Democratic primary is going to be brutal. They're going after each other with everything they got. There's no holds barred. So Gillibrand, not going to happen. Plus, I think obviously being friends with the Clintons, Harvey Weinstein, all that stuff's going to come up. No good, no good at all. Speaking of Julian Castro, he announced over the weekend, and he talked about education. Same thing with Gillibrand. Gillibrand talked about better job opportunities or better training or whatever. Because the problem is with both Castro and Gillibrand and anybody else running the Democratic side, generally, you want to talk about when things are going bad. Like, for instance, there's a bad war going on. The economy's not doing good. There's a lack of confidence in the American people. Most of the American people think we're heading in the wrong direction, right track, wrong track, polling. Well, unfortunately, right now, for the Democrats, none of that is true. We're not in any bad wars. In fact, Trump's getting out of them. We're not having to duke it out with North Korea. Trump took care of that situation. The economy's doing gangbusters. For every point going down in unemployment, you're talking a couple 100,000 families have good paying jobs, not just, what do you call them, cost of living wage jobs. 60% of the jobs created by President Obama in those 8 years were living wage jobs. Just enough to put a roof over your head, food on your table, maybe some new clothes on your back. Okay, these are real jobs, manufacturing jobs that are being created, and that's being created by Donald Trump. So they have to run on something. So I guess education is as good as anything, and that was Julian Castro's big claim to fame there. Let's see what else is going on. Trump wants to know why Pelosi is still getting paid while the government is shut down. Well, that's a funny story. Especially, well, Trump could say that. You know why? Because Trump, the president, gets paid $400,000 a year. He donates that $400,000 every year. He gives it to charity. He doesn't take a salary. So he can say, well, I'm not getting paid. And hell, Nancy, you're rich. Why are you still getting paid? And she is rich. So if anybody saw it, United America's first video with Laura Loomer when they went out to her estate there in wine country in northern Cal. Yeah, that woman's loaded. So, she ought to donate her salary also, but she doesn't. Let's see. Stephanie Ruhle on MSNBC, idiot, by the way, claims that Trump is blackmailing Lindsey Graham. He's got some really nasty stuff on Lindsey Graham. Well, we all know what she's talking about. The rumors have been out there for years that Lindsey Graham's a homosexual, and supposedly now, according to Stephanie Ruhle, the only reason why Graham is backing Trump, not because Trump is right, not because he has the right ideas. He's only backing because Trump has some dirt on him, like about him being a homosexual or something. I mean, this one just makes this shit up. Is she? She doesn't care who she hurts. She don't give a shit what stuff she makes up. She's not very bright, if you listen to her. She claims she knows about the economy and finances. She doesn't. Okay? I've had to watch her a couple of times early in the morning. Trust me, no fun. Okay? No fun. Let's see here. What else we got? McConnell holding firm. On not allowing any bills from the House to get to the floor of the Senate regarding reopening the federal government. Good. Finally, some Republicans in the Senate showing some balls. Unbelievable. I don't know who'd have figured. Took Trump getting elected to get the Rhino Republicans to actually grow a pair of balls. Thank God. Amen. Let's see what else. Federal judge has blocked. Federal judge blocked Donald Trump's requirement that on the census forms you have to list whether or not you're a U.S. citizen. Now that's important for a number of reasons, and I'll tell you why. Because the census is what determines, how many electors you have in a presidential election year. It's a finite number. It's 535. I think it's 270. So 539 electoral college votes, and those are based on population. That's why California has so many, and states like Nevada have 6. So it's based on population, and it also determines how many Congress people you get to send to Congress, the House of Representatives. Senators are 2 for every state, but House of Representatives, again, that's based on population. So whatever the larger the population you have, the more representatives you have. So if you're a blue state like California, you're generally going to elect Democratic people to Congress, and if you can count illegals as being that number, within that number, then that increases how many Congress people you can have at the expense of other states. We saw, I think it was after the 1980 or 1990 census, New York lost a bunch of electoral college votes and a number of Congress people as well because of the fact that their population had decreased and most of the population had gone to the south and to the west. So there you go. It kind of brings up, the whole thing from the Constitution, where Virginia was like, oh, you got to count our slaves also, as being part of the population for determining, electoral college votes, and also for counting Congress people. And the people in the North are like, hey man, you guys don't even let slaves walk around free. You don't let them read. You don't let them write. You beat the hell out of them. You kill them. You rape them. You do what you consider them to be property. Why should we let you count them as people when you don't even think of them as people? And that's where that whole 3/5 compromise came from. So in other words, the compromise, we're saying that, okay, a slave will count as 3/5 of a person, and because the South said we wanted to count as 5/5 of a person, a full person, the North said 0, they came up with 3. I guess they could have gone with 2 or 3 or whatever. So it wasn't like people were saying, black people only 3/5 of a white person. No, it was a compromise, a political compromise for determining number of people in the state. Kind of like right now with allowing illegals to fill out census forms to be counted as part of the population. Because then again, even though an illegal shouldn't be allowed to vote or have a social security number or things like that, if those blue states who have large populations of illegal aliens in them can have them counted as part of the population, that'll increase the number of votes they have going to the Electoral College, for presidential election years, and that'll also increase the number of Congress people they get to send to Congress and the House of Representatives. So that's an important issue, and the liberals, of course, they want illegals to be counted because generally, and if they do vote, they're generally going to vote Democrat. Hispanics, last time they came out big was 2004. They came out 42% for George W. Bush, and that's a whole nother issue. But they're not necessarily all Democrats. Hispanics, they have people going back 200 years, families they can trace back 200, 300 years in this country. So, I mean, some of these people have been here for a while. And the longer you're here, you own land, you own a business, you believe in law and order issues, you believe in low taxes, you're pro-family, you're anti-abortion because you're Catholic. Generally, it's kind of naturally Republicans. So, these people coming across the border right now may be voting Democrat, and even people who've been here for a while may be voting Democrat because of a single issue, immigration, because they want to see their family or friends come across as well. But once that issue is taken care of, I think you're going to see numbers like back in 2004. In 2004, Bush got that 42% of the Hispanic vote with just a promise of immigration reform, of the issue being taken care of. Because once you get rid of that single issue from Latinos, in my opinion, they're natural Republicans. Again, they check all the right boxes on Republican issues. So Democrats better be a little bit careful, because if this immigration thing ever does get resolved and those numbers go back to even just to 42%, go back over to the Republican Party, and say it goes to 50 or 55%, and then also Republicans pick up 25, 30% of the black vote, Democrats will never win a national election ever again. And it's over. So, but anyway, that is my opinion for the night. I do have to go. I have some things I need to take care of. So I want to thank everyone for joining me here. Thanks, Mr. Harvey, for joining me in the chat room. And thanks for everybody who's been watching, and to all those who'll be watching in the future. And I just want to say I hope all you guys have a great night. And I will see you next time. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you liked it a lot, hit the subscribe button. Well, even if you didn't like it, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I don't care. It works for me. So anyway, everybody have a good one. Have a good night. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.